Maybe the Washington Post should talk with some Russian hackers who stole the Democratic National Committee's entire file on Donald Trump. That's the big story we're following right now on Newsmax.com. Here's former ambassador to Russia, Michael McFaul, speaking on the hack.
The Russian government and the intelligence agencies and their proxies have tremendous capabilities when it comes to gathering intelligence in this way. What's unusual is that they get caught. That, to me, is what's striking about this story. But I think we grossly underestimate these capabilities. They are at this every single day, targeting political elites in this country to try to gather information.
All right, we're still going to try to get to some of your phone calls here before we close out, so get on the queue right now at 1-877-NEWSMAX, 1-877-NEWSMAX for everything we have talked about. But before we do that, let's get the dirt on what the cyber thieves may have dug up. From Watchdog Reporter from the Washington Examiner, Rudy Takala joins us this evening. All right, Rudy, it looks to me a lot of people are saying, wait a minute, this makes a lot of sense because Vladimir Putin wants Donald Trump to win. So he wants to make sure he gets something, maybe keeps it away from other people. What's the common sense in all this that you're getting?
Well, I think it lines up with what's been taking place for the last decade or more. Foreign intelligence services try to dig up what they can on political candidates, on the political parties. And quite frankly, the intelligence services in both China and Russia probably have almost everything that there is to know on everybody who ran for president this year. So this just fits with what we know.
Do we get the inference from any of the reporting, you're looking into it and others as well, that anything of intense value was stolen that can be then used to help one side, embarrass another side? Give us an idea here.
No, they probably did not dig up anything revelationary. They dug up the DNC research file, which probably consists of what's been in the media for decades about Donald Trump. And the candidates also know that this is taking place. If you're running for president, you know that your information is going to be dug up. That being said, these intelligence services can get pretty much anything. Any phone call, any email, anything that the candidates do, anything the political parties do, they have access. This is one instance where it was uncovered, but it really is nothing unusual.
Is this almost like spy days of old, if you would? They used to be able to get it in slips of paper, maybe something on a microfiche. Boy, I just dated myself there even knowing what that is. But this is just the way things are done these days. They're trying to understand not only the American political system, which they keep doing, and we do to them as well, but they're trying to understand the guy who might be the president and get an edge on what they're going to have to deal with.
Yeah, they're trying to find out what kind of, who he's getting his advice from, what diplomats, who he might be getting advice from behind the scenes that the American people don't know about, whether he means what he says when he praises Vladimir Putin or when he says that he's going to put up trade barriers to China. They want to know what he's thinking, you know, when you take down the curtains, what's really going on behind the scenes. They're doing it to Donald Trump, and they do it to a lot of other figures as well, within Congress, other political figures. You know, they're doing it across the board.
We get the sense, though, that this is out. I mean, as far as we know, that they expelled these people, or at least these different hackers in June, I guess?
Yeah, to their knowledge, the hackers are out. They had access for about a year, apparently. But, you know, that's really just a stopgap. It's not going to stop the long-term problem or the fact that these foreign intelligence agencies have access to this information. This is a situation where they were discovered because they were incredibly sloppy, but they have plenty of ways to access it where nobody is ever going to know about it. So what's really remarkable here is not that it was happening, but that they ever got caught.
Let's hope they keep being sloppy, because that only helps us. Rudy Takala from the Washington Examiner. Rudy, thanks so much for joining us. We do appreciate your time. We got a couple of minutes here. Let's go to the phones at 1-877-NEWSMAX, 1-877-NEWSMAX. We talked about Donald Trump, the Washington Post. Rich from White Plains is on the hard line. Rich, you think that Donald is wrong to censor the media. Why?
Well, Ed, with regard to Trump banning the Washington Post and his adherence to the First Amendment, this isn't anything new. Trump said he plans to change the libel laws in the United States so it's easier to sue news organizations. And, you know, not only may we have the most thin-skinned president of the United States, what's chilling is how he doesn't seem to understand the Constitution or use it as a foundation for his own policies. With regard to the Second Amendment, in his 2000 book, The America We Deserve, Trump wrote he supports a ban on assault weapons. But now he says he's a big Second Amendment supporter. So certainly Donald Trump, because he's taken every side of every issue, we could say for a certainty that he would be the most unpredictable president in recent memory.
All right, we appreciate your call, Rich. Thanks so much. Dobbs in Bend, Oregon, you believe that everybody should question the media, right, Dobbs?
Yeah, because a lot of it's not true, like what they're talking about Orlando, saying it's the United States' biggest massacre. It's not.
No, what they were saying was, let's be fair, they said it's the greatest mass shooting in this country, the mass terrorist effect, or the mass killing since 9/11. That's true.
That is not true.
Then you tell us what you think is true in 10 seconds.
December 29th, 1890, 297 were
But
killed.
wait a minute, again, you're going back to the 1800s. I just said since 9/11.
Listen, it's still in the United States, and they're trying to make an issue on the gun thing, and that's my beef with it.
Dobbs, we appreciate your call very much. Really, please call back again. But we do try to stay on point here. And that's all we ask that you do, because we are the only news outlet that gives you a chance to come in here and talk about the media, to talk about Donald Trump, to talk about the news. We do it every day. We're going to continue to do it every day. But let's stay on point and let's make sure that we cover both sides, all right? We'll do it every night right here. Rock on, true believers. Thanks for joining us. We're all out of time. Good night and good luck. We'll see you tomorrow.